Hello, this is Vaidya Priyanka. Come and join me on a journey of fabulous eating, cooking, experiments, spices, and all things absolutely delightful for you, your family, all your loved ones, with us on AUMcuisine. Namaskaram and welcome to another episode of AUMcuisine, authentic, universal, meditative. I'm going to make you some good old takali chutney. So takali means tomatoes, right? And it's just a very sweet thing. This particular recipe is called Kashu's tomato chutney. We otherwise call it KTC. So when you have KTC, you really don't need KFC. It's like a new acronym going on. So anyway, so we have some grapeseed oil in this really hot pan. Super important. Make sure that you use grapeseed oil because you're not supposed to be using oil like extra virgin olive oil, because when it goes beyond a certain fuming point, it releases carcinogens into your food, so it's not a good idea. In this pan out here, I'm going to be putting some mustard seeds to splatter. So it really gives you that intense, robust flavor that the tomato chutney loves, and this is our favorite kind of tomato chutney for sure. It's amazing, so good. When that's happening, I add some methi seeds. Methi seeds are fenugreek seeds, and you just need to put a little bit of it in there. This is very good for people who have diabetes, and it is slightly bitter, but it's really nice. Most things which are universal recipes, we have a tendency to have all types of flavors. Then I put in some cumin seeds. I'm very generous with my cumin seeds all the time because it's very good as a digestive. Some urad dal, broken urad dal, URAD it is, urad dal, for some protein. As that is getting warmed up, I'm going to take some red chilies. They're dried, very dried red chilies. It's almost like translucent, like so. There are some people who get rid of the seeds. I'm not like that. I really like the seeds in it. It infuses the commencement of this beautiful drama. Then at this point I take some more curry leaves and add them on. There's a reason that all of us do a lot of kalari payetu, you have to be able to dodge it when it's splattering a little bit more. Take care not to burn yourself or the leaves. Sometimes some safe distance would be better. Then put in some asafoetida or hing. Again, make sure it does not stick to one end of the pan. At this juncture, I like to add turmeric. I'm going to be putting a whole teaspoon of turmeric. Oh my God, it smells delightful. I must tell you, each of these things are playing like a film in my brain. So I'm going to be putting in a teaspoon of red chili powder. Delightful. And then I'm going to be adding onions, just a little onion cut up. As that is fuming, I'm going to be adding small cut pieces of ginger. Really wonderful. Time to introduce the tomatoes. So delicious. I know the tomato season is coming up. We've also planted tomatoes, a lot of it, in all of our backyards, and can't wait to celebrate. This is a fabulous tomato chutney. It keeps very well for at least 3 days and you'll enjoy it very much. Yes, as long as you are kind of organized and you know what goes after the other. That's the thing though, with any type of Indian recipe, the order is very important, okay? So as that is all warming up, I'm going to be adding some garam masala. 1 spoon of garam masala. smells delightful in here, delightful. It's almost like a lycopene face pack. I like the steaming going on. At this juncture, I like to add some cinnamon. Even though the garam masala has cinnamon in it, I just put in a little bit more. It's otherwise called dalchini. Cinnamon is very similar to fenugreek in one quality. It's very, very good for people who are having issues with sugar. So it's very good for diabetics. And it brings a certain sweetness to the chutney. The tomatoes also release sweetness. So here we have a big pot of Indian lycopene going on. It's really good for your heart. Really delicious. So I kind of use the back of this as a mallet to kind of soften up and make sure the chutney is simmering delightfully. A lot of people, at this juncture they'll put a lid on it. I love it to simmer down. But I really like to keep stirring. It's really important to me because the way that I make the chutney, I almost remember all the people that I cook for when I'm making the chutney and infuse a lot of goodness into it. Because it can be used in so many different ways. People use it, on a sandwich. People dip some crackers in it. You can mix it with some rice. You can eat it with celery. We'll do a few of those, right? So at this point, when it's starting to simmer and break down, I add about maybe 2 pinches of fennel seeds. It's again a very, very good digestive and extremely good for the summer months. Now I have quite a bit of cilantro leaves. I'm going to put half of them in right now. I'll keep the other half. Oh, you should see, oh my God, it's simmering and it's looking beautiful. This is like, when we went to the Tomatina festival, it's a complete crazy tomato festival, where people just throw tomatoes at each other. It was so much fun. And the whole time they had tomatoes of all different kinds, but they didn't have our tomato chutney. So I was kind of a little bummed out about that. So I thought it's really important that you need to have flavors from everywhere, just speaking a common language. Beautiful. This reminds me exactly of the way that Kashu makes it in our kitchen. He's just amazing. He's just a fabulous, fabulous cook and a fabulous gardener. And it's true, when you have Kashu's tomato chutney, you don't need KFC. So why KFC when you have KTC? So it's really cool. And he loves to grow the tomatoes and make chutney. We do it over and over every summer, and we enjoy it more and more each year. So it'll be lovely to hear how you guys got around making your chutney. So this is all softened up now, exactly the way that I like it. It's only at this point that I introduce salt. So I put about 1.5 pinches of salt to taste. I like putting Celtic salt for this. Smelling so delightful. I can't tell you, you need to be here. It's so good, so good. Then put in more cilantro leaves, like so. I love it to simmer, 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 simmer. Okay, I'm going to allow the last part of this to just simmer, then I'll show you the consistency when we plate up in just a minute. Welcome back. So I'm just going to be plating this, bowling the KTC. Kashu's tomato chutney. Just see how that looks, my goodness. So you know what I like to do sometimes? I just serve this as a dip when people come over, and then I cut over these little beds and then put it in like so. So what's beautiful is that red and green are just a fabulous combination. It's just delightful. Similarly, you can just put in some over here, keep crackers. You can put them on so many things. The other thing that you can do is that you can grill some red bell pepper and put them in that too. Maybe to garnish, you can just put some dots everywhere. Very, very pretty. can do a lot of very magical things with this tomato chutney. It's extremely versatile, and I must tell you, I'm going to be using this as part of one of my panini sandwiches. So I'm sure, you know, we'll link this episode to that episode so you can actually watch that. It's really good. So this is for my taste test. Anyway, bit. It's done. Spain is married now to India. So delectable. Let's see how this goes. And it's so many different ingredients, but they make a wonderful family. Tell us how KTC went in your lives. Looking forward.